Hi there, it's David Young, the Resourceful Coach, and we're here in Kent in the UK, and we're going to talk a little bit today about your mind. As I said, I'm the Resourceful Coach. I want to improve your technique in lots of areas, your understanding of what to do on the golf course, what level you're looking to play to, your technique and your equipment, and then also get your mind in the right place. And this particular thing we go through today is probably the thing that changed me, my game of golf, the biggest amount. And what I would guarantee for all of you, you can change your mindset to this idea, you will reduce your handicap by at least 20%. Okay, so if you're an 18 handicap golfer, I think you can knock 3-4 shots off. You're not going to change your technique of your swing, you're just going to change your mindset of how to play a shot. And we're going to show you 4 different shots today, how you've got to approach this and how you're going to change it. And it basically starts with the idea of the old saying we say, never up, never in. And that's putting. And the idea behind that is if you don't reach the hole, it can never go in the hole. And I want you to start to take that attitude with all of your shots going up to the hole. If you know you can reach the hole, you have enough club in your hand, get the ball to the hole. Now, when I first did this, I would say it took me a few games to get used to it, but when I first got it happening correctly, I was 6 under par through 11 holes. I don't think at any point in my life I'd ever been that. And it was just through this one idea. If I got the ball to the hole, it made such a difference. So I started holding more putts. I started to get my chips closer. I started to get my shots from the middle of the fairway much closer to the hole. And that's the key thing. And I think the biggest thing when we come to the other shots in a minute, the chipping and the fuller shots, it's understanding that you've got to realize what is your average shot, your average distance that you're hitting shots. Putting and chipping a little bit different because you can get the ball to the hole. But when you're getting sort of 100 yards or more, it's making sure that you are taking enough club to reach your intended target. So we're going to call this no more shorties. You are not allowed to leave the ball short of the hole. If you do, you're wasting a shot. So you think about it, a putt here, what have we got? We've got an 8-foot putt. Anytime I hit this putt and I leave it short of the hole, anywhere in here, I've got to take another shot to get it in the hole. So get the ball to the hole. Doesn't mean you're going to guarantee you're going to hole it, but it gives you the chance to get there. So when I set up over these putts now, mentally I'm thinking I want to roll it approximately a foot past the hole that I know gives it a chance. And again, I'm not going to hit every putt perfectly, so if I slightly underhit it, it will still get there. So if I look at that putt, it probably went in with the pace, it might have gone 4 inches past. But because I had the attitude to get it a foot past, it didn't come perfectly out the middle, it still went in the hole. If you're looking to just get it to drop in and you don't hit it correctly, you're probably going to come up short. And we're going to show you, as I said, we've shown you now with putting, we're going to do chipping, we're going to do a shot where I'm playing over a pond, and we're also then going to look at a fuller shot going into the green. But as long as you've got enough club, you know you can hit it that distance, the main theory is get that ball to the hole. So let's have a look at a pitch and see what we're doing. So we've now come to our pitch shot, and what's always interesting for me is people's reaction when they look at the shots. There's always that fear of what's behind the green. And if you probably look at this, it looks like there's a bush there behind the green. But actually, we're probably talking that the flag is in the center of the green. We've got about 30 foot of green to the flag. We've got good 30, 40 feet behind the flag. And then we've dropped off the green. It's another 10 yards to get to the bushes. So if we're looking at 10 yards of sort of reasonably mown grass before we get to the bushes, and we've got 40 feet of green, which is another good 10 yards. We've got 20 yards past that flag that we're still not going to go into big trouble. So what we've got to realise is a lot of the time when you're playing these shots, there isn't that much trouble behind the green. Everybody's scared of going past the hole. Okay, on this particular shot, all the trouble for me on this shot is in front of me. Okay, I've got a bit of a bank in front of me. I want to get that ball over the bank and get it onto the green. And what I found was if I try and be too cute, then I hit the bank and run down because I'm scared of going too far. So it's important, get this ball up to the hole. Now, what a lot of golfers say to me then, they go, oh, I don't want to go past it, that'll leave me a downhill putt. If you're that skillful that you can control it short of the flag, improve your skills to get it to the flag. That's the way I look at it. So I fear golfers go into the shot and they're fearful of the poor result. Think about what you want. I want to get this ball as close to that hole as possible. I'd like to see it go in, that would be lovely. Okay, but realistically that doesn't happen very often, but let's give it a chance. Let's get that ball up to the hole. As we said, no more shorties. I want to reach that hole. So I'm going to land this good halfway up that 30 feet of green and let it release from there. I'm just using a gap wedge. I'm just going to pop it on See what we get. Well, by being that little bit more positive in the idea, I've chipped that ball up probably about a foot from the hole. But whereas before I'd just be happy to get it on the green, the end result was I might hit the bank and roll down, or just get it on the green and leave myself a 30-footer. So realise, as we said, we show you these shots, there's not that much trouble behind the green. You think there is, there isn't. If you hit the shot correctly, the ball will stop. But get that ball to the hole. So far with the putt, I've given myself a really good chance, and I hold it because I got it to the hole. On this occasion, I was nice and positive with the pitch. We're within a couple of feet of the hole. If I'm doing that, this is what made my score come down, because I'm getting the ball to the hole. Okay, we're going to look at a shot now going over water, and then we'll see how that goes from there. So here's our next shot for making sure we're getting that ball up to the hole. And as we've mentioned before, a lot of the trouble when you play a game of golf is at the front of the green. And in this situation, definitely. We're all a bit scared to go long for some reason. And we've got a pond in front of us here. So the key thing here, I need to make sure I'm doing that. Now, if I look at my watch, I've got 90 yards to the front of the green. I've got around about 105 to the middle, and I've got 120 to the back of the green. And as we mentioned before, the big thing is get the ball up to the hole. Often what we tend to do is we think about, on these types of shots, what's our best shot? What's going to hit it to that? Now, if we take a reading now actually to the flag, what have we got? We've got 102 to the flag. So it's only just over the water. Remember we said about 90 yards to carry the water, and now we're talking just 100 yards. So it's very, very easy in this shot to think, well, I want to be clever. What's going to hit it exactly 100 yards? Now, how often do you hit that shot perfectly? That's what you've got to look at. We're also got to take into account, we're on a little bit of a downhill slope here. Is that going to affect how you strike the ball? So if you're good off awkward lies, you can pick the club you're happy with. If you're not so good, here's our key thing we're looking at. Look at the last number we gave you with relative to front, middle and back. It was 120 yards. From an awkward lie, think, what can I hit? Let's say not quite 120. If we look at that, we've got another 20 yards before we get into trouble. So I've got to hit this 140 yards to get into trouble. As we've mentioned, there's no real trouble behind this green. It's more at the front. On this case, it's water. Often it's bunkers, water, ditches. Remember, there's normally a bit of room behind that flag. So I'm looking now, what can I hit? 115 yards. That takes the water completely out of play. Land it on the green. I'll be happy with that from this position. Okay, so for me, that's just a nice solid pitching wedge. I know off this lie I can take that nice and smooth. Don't have to try and hit it extra hard. So again, I'm making sure I've got plenty of club to get me to the intended target. Carry the water, middle of the green, happy with that. Okay, everything we're doing is about reaching that hole. Get it up to the hole. You never know. If I really got it right, it might disappear in the hole. But if I don't get there, that's never going to happen. So I've got plenty of club. Let's see what we get. Yeah, so happy with that shot. I set out to carry the water. I carried it comfortably. I've hit it. As I said, I could hit this probably 115. I've probably hit it, not perfectly, so I've gone about 110. So I'm now looking at my ball sitting around about probably 20 feet from the flagstick. By doing that, I've taken out the trouble, but what I've guaranteed by reaching the hole, got it there, I'm giving myself a chance. You keep doing this, you're going to reduce those scores by a lot. We've come to our final shot for our no more shorties, and we're looking at an iron shot roughly around about 170 yards to get into the green. And again, what we talked about earlier on is make sure you're playing your average shot. The shot we played over the water, we were looking to make sure that we're getting the ball to the hole. So as I said, what people tend to do, they get their yardage and straight away they think, what's the best possible shot I can hit? If there's trouble in front, like a pond or bunkers, how often do you end up in those bunkers? Get the ball to the hole. So think what your average distance is with each club. So I've looked at my watch. I've got 160 to the front. I've got 185 to the back. And then let's look at the flag, which looks a little bit favouring the back of the green. And we're looking around about 174 to the flag. So I know, yeah, on a slight downhill lie like this, summer conditions, if I really hit a nice 7-iron, I can get there. But that's my best 7-iron. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a nice smooth 6-iron. And what I want to do, reach that hole. If I can get to the hole, if I look down the green there, yeah, if I look past the flag, there's 5-6 paces of nicely mown grass off the back of the green, and then I'm into probably very light rough before I get into trees. And to get really into trouble, I've probably got to hit this 25 yards through the back of the green. So another hole we're looking at, there's not that much trouble behind. The key thing here is get it to the hole. As we said, reach the hole, you're giving yourself a chance to get on the green, get the putter in your hand, and you're going to reduce those scores. So let's give it a go. We're just going to take a nice smooth 6-iron down the hill today. Main thought, I've got enough club here, it's going to get me to that hole. Struck it nicely. See what we've got. Yeah. So again, I don't think anybody hits their perfect shot. I've ended up in the middle of the green. So again, if I'd taken the 7 and hit it like that, the chances are I wouldn't have made the green. But I've given myself probably now a 25, 30 foot putt. So I'm not guaranteeing you're going to reach that hole every time. But what I found was I didn't start to leave the ball short of the green. So there was no more shorties. The ball was hitting the green. I found my chip shots were getting closer, and that was making the difference. By hitting the green, I got the putter in my hand, 2 putts, I was making easy pars. If I got the distance right and hit it correctly, I was getting it up to the hole. I was then making birdies. So just one change in your mindset. What we're asking you to do is just get into that mindset now of get the ball to the hole. Like the putting, never up, never in. You can't get it in the hole. You leave it short, you're going to have to play another shot. You start to get these balls closer to the hole, I'll guarantee the biggest thing you stop doing is 3 putting, because you're closer to the hole. You start to get within 15, 20 feet, even when you feel you haven't played a perfect shot. For me, it made a massive difference to my game. It took me from probably still as a professional golfer shooting a lot of scores around par to breaking par consistently. And when I've got my golfers doing it, as I said, you will lower your handicap by 20%. So if you're a 20 handicap golfer, that will knock 4 shots off. You haven't got to change your technique. You're just changing your mindset. Even for those guys playing off 5 and you keep thinking, I want to get down to 4 or 3, changing this, probably for you guys, you'll be amazed that you could probably knock 3 or 4 shots off your rounds, even at that lower handicap, because you're giving yourself those much shorter birdie chances. And if you're off 5 handicap, you're probably a decent putter anyway. So the theory behind this, as we said, get the ball to the hole, no more shorties. Make a note of it. Anytime you can play a shot that you can reach the hole, are you getting there? I'll guarantee if you go out the first time you play, make a note on your scorecard, you'll probably only get 10% of your shots to the hole. You start getting 50, 60% of your shots up to the hole, there's your handicap going to come tumbling down. Guaranteed, you will start lowering your scores. I hope you enjoyed that tip. If you did, please share it with your friends and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I look forward to seeing you soon.